Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Explorer Time series I've got going here. So hey guys, look, remember what we did last time? We got that portal network set up between the two different locations, moved a lot of stuff over to the new base, and are also now mining the nether so that we can get a good set of ore production going on here. If you'll remember, each one of these can be smelted to where they will give us 2 of their normal ore. So this is 2 coal, 2 copper, 2 tin, etc., etc., so on and so forth. We've also got starting to get some soul sand coming in. Got a good supply of netherrack for the purposes that we would have for that there. So guys, today the thing that I want to focus on is I want to get a better power network set up. Right now the lava is working. It's doing its business. I've had to move the ender pump in the nether a couple of times just to make it to take up for all of the lava that it stopped drawing on, because eventually it does pull it all out. So I was looking at the different power options that are available to us, and I thought an interesting one that I haven't done yet is the vats. The combustion generator from Ender.io. There's a number of liquids that are kind of distinct to Ender.io that produce power, and the very first one that you can get into is called hooch, which is exactly what it sounds like. If we look at the recipe for it here, you can see it's made in an Ender.io vat, and then it's made with some kind of crop and then sugar. And you can see the different crops have different outputs for what they do. A poisonous potato is the strongest, but obviously the hardest to come by. Anything else we could grab. Potatoes, I think, are the strongest other than it at 4.0. Yeah, so I figure that's what we'll work towards as our power for this season, this playthrough. So I'm going to make today a potato farm and a sugarcane farm. So let's see what we've got to start with. Look at sugarcane. Oh, we've already got a fair amount of sugar there for some reason. I'm not sure why there's so much of it made, but we got 35 sugar canes here in the network, which is actually all we have. Having already torn down the farm at the temple, as it were, over in the Mayan city, that's all that I have left. So then let's look at potatoes. One. We have 1 whole potato to start our farm. So it looks like I'm going to be spending some time with a watering can over that, but that's just fine. That is just fine. Once we get a good potato and sugar farm going, then we can set up vats for it to be pumped into, which will make the hooch that we were looking at a second ago. Yep. And then once we have the hooch, we can refine that further using some higher tier materials into the other types of fuels that actually produce more power than we're currently doing with the magmatic dynamos, which are great early game, by the way. If you don't know that, as long as you've got an ender pump or some way of making lava, the magmatic dynamos are 80 RF a tick for just some Invar. It's really not that expensive of a recipe. Great early game in my mind. So yeah, I'm going to work on setting up these farms, and then we'll work on automating that process entirely, and then we'll work on getting ourselves power a different way. So, I'll check in with you in a little bit with a progress report. So, I was thinking about the stuff that I needed to proceed. I've got the potato and sugarcane farm working full pace in the real world, but here I was thinking that it would really benefit me if I was able to explore the nether. Now right now, the nether is a very dangerous place. It's always had its own perils, but with all of the monsters that were added by Lycanites, it's actually quite deadly. Very hard to maneuver in. That's why I have to build all the tunnels and stuff that you've seen me building to get around to all of the different locations. That's why I had to use magnum torches in one of the locations, because they weren't even really respecting the spawn locations and normal torchlight levels. So, bearing that in mind and wanting to explore the nether, because I'm really interested in getting some blaze spawners down for my own personal use, I thought we would look at other armor solutions. Now, there's some crazy expensive, awesome armor that you can get from a couple of the mods that we have installed here. But one that's really good but not too over the top is the dark steel armor from Ender.io. So I made the boots here, and I've got the chest plate, And then we're going to make the leggings. My thing went crazy and just put a whole bunch down. Nope, already made the boots. Needing the helmet. There we go. Now each one of these items, if you throw it in an anvil with certain things, it has upgrades that you can apply to it. So for instance, if I hold down shift to look at the helm, you can see there it's got empowered, sound locator, and night vision. So if I put those things in with it, I can spend my levels to kind of enchant it with those things. So I've got some boots ready here, and I've got a lily pad. So you can see enchantment costs 10, I can give it flippers. If I take the lily pad out and just hover over the dark boots, you can see there that that's what it costs for each one of the things. Lily pad is 10 levels, vibrant crystal is 10 levels, and they all have different effects. So let's just go ahead and throw this on. I pull it out, and then you can see there it has flippers before I hold shift, and if I hold down shift, it's still got empowered available to me. So I'm going to spend some time getting essence berries, eating them, putting on things for the different boots, making up a few things, and then we'll look at the full set once I get it done. And I'll show you that in just a minute. Finally finished it up. Took a whole bunch of essence berries to get me there. So if we look here, we can see that we have Empowered 4 and Speed 3 on the pants, Empowered 4, Sound Locator, Night Vision, and Solar 2 on the helmet, Empowered 4 and Glider on the chest plate, and then Empowered 4, Jump 3, and Flippers on the boots. So let me really quickly read off the list of materials here. That took 4 vibrant crystals, 4 basic capacitors, 4 double layer capacitors, 4 octatic capacitors, a glider wings, a lily pad, a note block, 3 pistons, 3 potions of swiftness, 3 potions of... oh no, only 1 potion of night vision, and then a photovoltaic cell and an advanced photovoltaic cell, which came to a total of 430 levels I had to put into this thing to get this all up to speed. In addition, I went through 3 anvils in order to do it. So I'd say that's some pretty sound armor. I do have to get it all charged up before I would really feel comfortable marching off and using it. You can see there they have a power capacity of 1 million RF, and it says that it has diamond level protection when powered, and it has 95% damage absorbed by the power, in addition to all the benefits of it. Which I don't think any of them actually happen unless you have it powered. So I'm going to get them charged up, and then we'll take a look at them. Okay, so we got all of the armor pieces on now. Look how snazzy we look in our new full black armor with our 2 weapons. You could easily shred most monsters. But yeah, so I did put everything on there, and I figured out what my controls were, so I figured we'd test it out. So first off, let's turn on the glider. There we go. And then also got the sound locator on, so now as things make sounds in our general vicinity, we should see those note blocks that begin to appear. So yeah, we can tell where things are somewhat. And then we've also got night vision, which it's during the day right now, so that's not going to make much of a difference. But check this out. Alright, so I'm on top of one of the buildings in the home, the old home base. Let's jump around a little bit. And then glide. Ooh, that's all the way back over to the old temple that they built this. How nice is that? So 3 jumps. You can hear the sounds as I make them, and then you just kind of glide around. And you can definitely turn the glider on and off, so that way you don't have to have it all the time if you don't want it all the time. Gosh, I'm getting some serious lag tonight, and I'm not sure why, guys. But yeah, got the glider on. Let's head down into something. I don't know. We can head down into the old base here. We can check out the night vision. There we go. Head down to the downstairs area. Just take up a few of the torches. There we go. So then we got night vision. Makes such a cool sound effect too. I think I'm going to be really happy with this new armor, guys. I think I am indeed. Alright, and now we've got ourselves fully enchanted armor. Did I mention that before? Did I tell you that you could also enchant the armor in addition to having all those things that you put on by the anvil? Because you can. So you can see there, full enchantments on everything. Went crazy go nuts with the enchantment table and also with the essence berries. So got lots of protection there. And we're about to dive into the nether. We've got our weapons ready. We're good to go. We're about to destroy some things, looking for those nether fortresses. Hoping to find some blaze and also some wither skeletons. Now, of course, we could use the trick that we used before. Well, we take a skeleton spawner from the normal world, the home dimension, take it in there, and then it'll become a wither skeleton spawner, and that's in the cards. That's probably going to happen. But right now, we're looking for nether fortresses so we can collect a blaze spawner, so we can get some power running that way while we're waiting for our farm to gear up enough that we can make some decent hooch. So, I'm going to dive in now. And once I find something that's not just me flying around or jumping around or gliding around looking for nether fortresses, I'll let you know. So, I'm back from the nether. I got lots of stuff, and I made a couple upgrades here, so I figure I should tell you about them, and we're going to see how this is going to work. I'm not sure if I'm building this the right dimensions, but here goes. Okay, so up there you'll notice an empty soul cage. If we look in my inventory, you'll see that I have a tier 5 soul shard that is bound to blaze, which means that it will spawn blazes, it's controllable by redstone, etc., etc., so on and so forth. So, over here I have a grinder, and I have a wireless redstone lever, which is connected to the empty soul shards thing. And then if we come down here, we can see that I've got just a basic little setup. I've got the ender pipes coming down. Now I will say I did try to put them all through this back one here, because they can occupy the same space, but the grinder would not accept power from the back. I imagine that's because it's hard-coded to be the output, so it can't take anything in. But I don't know for sure. Anyway, so yeah, I put it on the bottom, got that coming down, all of them. I got the item ones going this way. This one's already got some blaze rods in it, this one has nothing, and this is a catch-all for anything else that remains, for which I have these upgrades. Let me just apply those on there, and then you can see we've got a nice big adjustable chest there for it. Over here I've got a drum to soak up the mob essence that comes down, and on the end here I've got a Stirling generator. Now I have not wired it up to the blaze rods yet, but I do intend to just have it funnel the blaze rods back around to it, and then it will fill up with power. So this is, and I want to emphasize that the grinder is also full, this is 2 blaze rods. Only 2. With the octadic capacitor in to upgrade this machine, it generates a whole lot of power for the blaze rods, which is amazing. I mean, that is a lot of power that it generated. Almost over 200,000 RF just off 2 blaze rods. Astonishing. So anyways, let's go ahead and kick this thing into gear. Let me come up through here. Eventually I'll do something fancy there, probably put in an elevator, so that way I can get back up to it without having to jump, but there we go. So that's the soul shard in. You can see I collected very little of the wither skeletons. I haven't gotten to the point where I put some spawners over. So, I guess we'll just check this out. I'm kind of concerned that it won't be enough, you know, that I haven't made the area big enough for the blazes to not get out, but we're gonna find out. So let's kick it on. Just turn it right back off. Hey, that's awesome. None of them got out that time. Grinder totally kicked in. Totally did some work. Let's check down here and see what we got. So alright, good. Picked it up straight away, got the mob essence, and collected about 2,000. And then we've got another blaze rod. That's still empty. That's still empty. Okay, so we'll go ahead and toss in another blaze rod just so this can be kept up. Oh, and I guess I should put some lights down here, so that way I won't get eaten up by anything. Although I should probably put them, you know, up high. Yeah? Sounds good, right? Although, I'm not sure that I even could be eaten by anything, because over here you'll see I put down another magnum torch, to keep the monsters from spawning in this area naturally. So I'm not sure if the grue would actually spawn if I left it. But alright, let's check it again. Let's just leave it going for a second. Ooh. Some of them are absolutely spawning outside of the confines. So yeah, I did not make it big enough. That is unfortunate. Ooh, and that one's special. So yeah, unfortunate. I did not make it big enough. There's definitely some blazes that got out of that. Alright, well, I guess I'll have to make it bigger and maybe put in some more grinders. I'm not sure how to arrange that, though, because the grinders only affect a 5x5 area, and there's no way that I'm aware of making them affect a bigger area. So I guess maybe I'd have to put in 4, maybe to catch the whole thing, but then I'd still be missing the center, I feel. I don't know, I'll have to play around with it a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so we're here in the nether, and I got myself a normal skeleton spawner on a diamond dolly. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this mechanic from earlier in their series, or if you already knew it, but basically, if you take a normal skeleton spawner from the overworld and bring it to the nether, then it becomes a skeleton spawner. So I've got the wither skeleton soul shard here, and I've got the skeleton spawner on the diamond dolly. So we're just going to slap this down, and then we're going to kill wither skeletons for a while until we fill up the soul shard. And then we will have a tier 5 soul shard for wither skeletons that we can use to spawn them in the overworld or wherever we want to, really. The only caveat is that if we make a soul shard of them, wherever we put that spawner, we have to leave it, because the wither skeleton soul shard only works if you don't break it. If you break it and take the soul shard back out, it will be a normal skeleton soul shard because of the way that the mechanics for skeletons and wither skeletons work within Minecraft. So what we're going to do is slap this down, kill wither skeletons for a little bit till we got that soul shard, and then we can make a spawner for them. I had to leave the nether and come back, and you can even see now that the spinning entity inside of the spawner there is now a wither skeleton. So that's what I'm talking about. As soon as you put a skeleton here, it just instantly changes over to being a wither skeleton entirely. So it will spawn normal skeleton spawners, or normal skeletons, because that's the way it's set up. But yeah, totally a wither skeleton spawner. Cool, so we got our tier 5 wither skeleton soul shard, but it's going to be just a little bit before we actually have a good place to put that. So we're going to hold off on that for the minute. This is the total amount of wither skeleton skulls that I got. Only 11 from killing, I don't know, it's a fifth of that number really, because I had Soul Stealer on the swords that I was using, so that gave me about 5 or 6 kills per hit. But yeah, I did have to kill quite a bit of wither skeletons to get this done. So I thought that we'd move on to the other project that we've been working on. You can see here on the farm that I've kind of set a couple of things up here, getting ready for it. We've got over 10,000 sugarcane, so that's a good number to start with. And we've got 6,000 potatoes, so that's a good number to start with too. We've also got a few poison potatoes, but not too many of them. Unfortunately, the potato farm does not produce poison potatoes as quickly as it does normal ones. So, as far as auto crafting options are available to me in this pack, there are not a lot. I looked through it, and maybe I'm just missing some of the options here, but the only one that I could really think of is the extra utilities option. But I also don't want to tank all of my sugarcane, because I also use it for paper and everything else too, so I got a couple of things going here. So first off, transfer node, 4 items, hyper rationing pipe, and then I've got another one to connect up to the back of the chest. 9 chests put out in a crafting grid array with a crafting grid on the front of it, with a transfer node that has a world interaction upgrade in it, will make it auto craft the stuff that appears within the crafting table, or all of the chests that are shaped like a crafting table anyways. So then we take the hyper rationing pipe, which only puts 1 item in at a time, for it. We go ahead and slap that here, and then we can see that this chest will fill up one at a time with sugarcane, and then it'll take it out, use the world interaction upgrade, and turn it into sugar. And now the reason we're using the hyper rationing pipe is that means that it will only ever take one at a time. There's no need for it to take a whole lot of it because there just doesn't need to be that much of it. Once this gets into swing, I have the feeling that it will not produce hooch at a faster rate than this can transfer. And if it does, we can speed it up. We can either put some speed upgrades in here to make it go a little bit faster, or we can just put on some normal rationing pipes, because I don't want this to fill up. I don't want it to have like stacks and stacks and stacks of sugarcane in it. I'm just waiting to be processed through because there's no real need for that. So yeah, you can see that already we've produced 34 sugar out of the sugarcane that we've been processing. So then the plan would be to hook this one up to the other side of the vat, have this coming into the other side of the vat, and then have the vat connected to underground water source. Probably just using extra utilities again with the world interaction upgrade to pump the water up into it. And then all of that will be put together and then dropped into the combustion generator, which will run lines around, so that way it'll fill back up into the vat, because the vat does take power itself as well. So let's just take a look at the recipes here. Vat, not too complicated. Some electrical steel, so it's not quite early game. 2 fluid tanks, machine chassis, and a furnace, cauldron. Nothing special there, just iron. Here, fluid tank is just iron, glass, and iron bars. And then, of course, the machine chassis is a basic capacitor. Iron bars, iron ingots, basic capacitor, of course, has that as the crafting recipe. We've seen that a number of times. The combustion generator is not too much different. It's got those 3 items as well, some more electrical steel, a piston, and basic gear for Ender.io, which is just sticks and cobblestone, nothing special at all. So yeah, we know that this works good, so then we can concentrate on going ahead and getting this stuff set up to work together too. So that's the next step. But yeah, with all of that stuff in front of us, and with the wither skeleton soul shard fully done, looking at setting up a new power system, we're going to have to go ahead and end the episode here. I do thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. If you did, please leave a like on it. And also feel free to subscribe if you want to see more. The series is definitely chugging along quite nicely. I'm very happy with what we're doing here, and so I'm going to continue doing it for quite some time. I would love to see you back for more episodes. I hope you feel the same. Have a great day, guys.